Good afternoon. We are Andera, and 4 years ago, we presented our integrated online account opening solution, which over 500 financial institutions have adopted today. I want to introduce you to the Hamburglar. You may recognize him from those McDonald's commercials, driven to a life of crime by his insatiable desire for all beef patties. And I'd like to tell you a little story about the Hamburglar. Unfortunately, since the widespread adoption of online account opening systems, criminals like the Hamburglar and his stolen Grimace driver's license have used compromised personal information to open hundreds of fraudulent accounts at institutions across the country. So, as the Hamburglar fills out the online form, as you see on the screen, which is representative of our typical client site, keep in mind that he doesn't just have Grimace's driver's license. He's also done research into public files, credit files. He's masked his IP address, and he generally knows how to game the system and how to bypass a lot of the ID verification and fraud checks we all rely on for secure transactions. Now relax, don't worry, I know what you're thinking, and we didn't sign up for Finovate to show you a delinquent McDonald's character fill out an online form. Today we're presenting Fortify. It's Andera's innovative new solution to leverage the power of our 500-plus customer base and our industry-wide view of applications submitted to banks across the country to find patterns used by fraud rings and catch the Hamburglar in his tracks as he goes from bank website to bank website. So, as Hamburglar makes progress, he's able to answer all the out-of-wallet challenge questions, and to this single institution, he looks like a perfectly legitimate customer. This single institution acting on its own is powerless to stop the Hamburglar. Like a single stick, in isolation, the defenses are easy to snap. So, at the end of the day, the Hamburglar results with a fraudulently funded account, which acts as a foot in the door at this institution. Now, he's used his own phone number. He has access to the email address that he used on this application, so that when the bank reaches out to who they believe to be Grimace, the communications go right to Hamburglar, who accepts additional credit products and loan products, ultimately resulting in large losses for the institution. On average, we've found that to be about $20,000 per incident, and sometimes we've seen up to $150,000 per incident. So the Hamburglar is quite pleased, and he's eager to move on to his next victim. He knows about device detection solutions, so he switches devices. Please switch the camera to the iPad. And he selected a brand new target. This financial institution isn't even using Andera's origination platform. They're actually using an origination platform from Oflows, another innovative company presenting at the conference tomorrow afternoon, who's best known for their mobile and tablet-optimized user interface. So, as the Hamburglar works his way through the iPad app, what he doesn't realize is that as he enters Grimace's information again, it's fed in real time to Andera's API, run through Fortify, and compared to the thousands of other applications submitted to banks across the country. In real time, we've rendered a report and sent it to the institution, saying that this is the very first time you've seen Grimace. He looks like a legitimate customer, but he just applied for an account a couple minutes ago, and frankly, people just don't open bank accounts that frequently. So the institution has decided to fail this application based off the information. Now, Hamburglar's a bit perplexed. If you could switch back to the laptop screen, please. So he redoubles his efforts. He knows he can game the system. He's done this before. So he turns to a new target. This time, it's a Bank Simple account from the Simple Finance Corporation. I know most of you have heard of Bank Simple. You're probably following them on Twitter. They're another innovative company, again presenting at the conference tomorrow. But to the Hamburglar, they just see a fresh new startup. He thinks maybe this new institution doesn't have the sophisticated fraud checks that a more established institution would use. And that's where the Hamburglar is wrong. Once again, when he enters Grimace's information, it's fed in real time through the API compared to the thousands of other applications submitted to banks across the country. We've rendered a report in real time to say, Bank Simple, this is the first time you've seen Grimace, but we've seen him apply to 3 other institutions in as many minutes. So Bank Simple, once they get to the end of the form, which, true to their name, is quite simple, takes that information uses our advice, says that this is pretty suspicious, and they render a decision to fail this application. So that is a very simple example of the types of patterns we see within our network. If you could switch over to the fraud report, keep in mind that Fortify is much more robust than a simple driver's license velocity check. We see all of the Hamburglar's activity in real time on these websites. We see every single field that he enters, including email addresses, phone numbers, fields that are not sent to contributed risk databases. And our algorithms can find patterns dynamically as new patterns of fraud rings emerge and identify the institutions. This is a really important innovation for a number of people at this conference. Banks and credit unions of all sizes, whether you open 10 accounts a day or 10,000 accounts a day. This could be the very first time that the Hamburglar appears on your site, and he'll look like a completely legitimate customer without foresight from Fortify. Any non-bank institutions, brokerages, insurance companies, criminals don't just target banks, and we can catch them on your site too. And then finally, any other vendor or solution who relies on online customer identification. In addition to the Fortify solution I just showed you, all of the other ID verification and fraud tools that we use for our account opening platform are available through our API to third parties like OFlows, BankSimple, and you. So please stop by our booth this afternoon, join this network, strengthen this network, because when we all work together, like a number of sticks bunched together, we become impossible to break. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you soon.